Hi, this is Tariq Shaw on YouTube. I put together some excerpts from the Fantasy Codex and Aeurthah, the Book of Power, because I feel this is like such an amazing story that these are highlights of a particular character. This is the story of Menzie, the subtle angel. Hello. Hegros was dumbfounded. I, Celestial Zealot, have accepted your invitation. I seek wisdom from you. It is as if mages are in need of something magic cannot fulfill entirely, and there is a war between the mages and anti-mages. I know, Soul Searcher. I believe with my aid you can help. The solution is in that which you would gravitate to before any of this. Trust in it and offer it to others. The angelic voice returned, speaking words unfamiliar to Hebrews. The angelic voice returned, speaking words unfamiliar to Hebrews. An evil has felt our conference. They seek to conquer this realm one day. But no matter, your unborn child Higrosi will defeat them. This will indirectly lead to the death of the vessel I will one day be attached to. Take this ring. I will leave you with this, loving Hegros. A spell of peace to plant a seed of acceptance is what you will gain if you can understand what spells mean to you. Her soft skin and relaxed eyes were then accompanied with a smile, and Hegros felt a tear fall on his cheek. Farewell. She stepped into the light that left as it came. Hewden's ally. Menzie under Hewden, says the female mage who was casting the illusion spell. She wears sunflower yellow robes and white flags. Her blonde hair flows like liquid gold, and her blue eyes shine like spring skies. As she walked over to Higrosi, all were mesmerized at her slow, deliberate steps. She extends her delicate hand to Higrosi, who takes it, and immediately feels her magical ability radiating from her skin. I am from the Flame Clan, daughter to the chief. But my actual level is 6.4. Lord Hewden says my ability exists above this. I am a Creaton Magi, or a creation mage, meaning I specialize in creating my own spells. She looks at the others around the room and back at Hiroshi. Are you really a soul searcher? Yes, replies Hiroshi simply. Prove it. Menzie moves closer. Give me your hands. She holds out her hands, and Hiroshi puts his in them. Identifium, casts Menzie. Venturing off. Time seems slower to Menzie, waiting for Hetsu to report back. She decides to start a conversation with the question she has been meaning to ask him. How's Chuni? Not well, I'm afraid. We hardly see each other. And my success, the success she's been wanting since we got together, has now made her sick from the stress. Sprouting love. Higroshi, Menzie interrupts. Yes? How's Chuni? Higroshi stands up from his desk. He walks to the towering bookshelf examining the books. She left me. The soul searcher then picks up a book on the fifth shelf from the bottom and begins to skim through it. She left a note saying our love was in the journey, not the ending. All of her things were gone this morning. So sorry, Hank. Menzie's tone shows sincerity. So am I. At least now I am able to concentrate on our studies and on the relationships I know are strongly upheld. Like ours, Menzie says with a smile. Anytime you like to talk about Truny, or anything else for that matter, I am here. What about you, Menzie? Do you have a relationship with anyone? Not now, but soon I should think. A high-ranking mage of the Flame Clan, I'm sure. Menzie smiled at this. His reaction put her in a playful mood. She leans back in her chair and casts an illusion spell of yellow bending light, making it twist this way and that. Would you like to meet him? Allow me to meet him, and I'm sure you'd make a decision at the last moment. What is she making a decision on? Higroshi and Menzie turn to see Hetsu entering the room with a scroll and several books. Higroshi looks to Menzie and witnesses something that almost shatters his heart. Curses level 70 senses. Looking at Menzie, he sees her eyes, taking in every moment, taking in every movement, and waiting for his next one. She fixes her hair, but quickly, so Hetsu doesn't notice, and her face becomes slightly redder with each step he takes closer to them. His competition for Menzie is not someone of the Flame Clan. It is Hetsu. Complications. What's your trouble, Head? Menzie looks sincerely concerned. Hiroshi. What of it? He speaks as if he is above us in some way. Hetsu he is, and about 30 levels so. Curse mage for that. If Hetsu was facing Menzie, he would have seen her response to be a look of shock. Where is this coming from? Hiroshi and I. We were very close in magic capabilities at one time. Friends at that. Now, Hetsu spits in the nearby water. He doesn't acknowledge me or the work I do. He must. And on top of that, he looks at Menzie with a hard and yet hurt glare. He will take from me the one thing I prize just as much as leveling up. What? Stammers Menzie. Without time to blink, Hetsu steps closer to her and kisses her. She immediately casts a spell without words, shoving him away from her with great force. Staggering back, he searches for her reasoning behind doing this. That was not fair for you to do that, she says sternly, and leaves to meet with Zol and the others. Hetsu is left standing in the otherworldly paradise alone, watching the strange birds fly through the air beside the setting blue sun. Time passed. Engrossi awakens in the arms of his beautiful second wife. As his mind, body, soul, and mana become accustomed to the new day, he begins to recall last night. Menzie, not wanting to sleep alone, walked to where Engrossi slept and cuddled up next to him. He woke out of his initial sleep, and they shared in a passionate affair under the brilliant, starry sky of the spotted desert. Project. Just then Menzie walks up, keeping her eyes on the structure, and asks softly without much hope of an answer, "What happens now?" "My love, please bring me a white-feathered bird. You'll find many on the outskirts of the desert, and a pink-bellied possum. Keep them alive." "Please, just answer me." She grabs his shoulder. "Why do you not trust me?" Engrossi is internally frustrated that he cannot tell her. He knows she'll immediately try to convince him to stop. He says calmly, "Bring the bird and the possum here. It is essential." Tears fall down her cheeks. "I will bring them to you, but then—" She pauses, but feels she is obligated to continue. "Then I am leaving you." Engrossi's eyes widened in surprise. His level 94 magic did not show him this outcome at all. "Ulanus has invited me to live with him, Avner and Hetsu." "Ulanus has invited me to live with him, Avner and Hetsu." "I will. I always knew you really loved Hetsu. That's what this is about, isn't it? This project just gives you the opportunity to express your true feelings." "Not at all. But if you cannot trust me, even with your deepest secrets, what must I do?" Engrossi says nothing, jaw clenched. "I will get the two animals. Then I accompany Ulanus to the great council section of the individuals. Is that fair? Is that fair?" She storms off without waiting for an answer. "What must I do? In Mage's name, what must I do?" Engrossi exasperatingly sits in the sand, staring up at the structure. No. The stone cooled and became gray once again, and it opened its eyes. The whites of his eyes were in fact brown mud, and the pupils were stone pebbles. A deep noise emanates from the mouth. A voice. "Address yourself." "I am Engrossi. I am your creator." "And who am I?" "You are the gargoyle." At the mention of itself it stood, reaching to a height of 7 feet. "I require a sacrifice." The now level 100 mage points to the animals Menzie holds. The gargoyle walks over to the woman, who is shivering with fear. He takes one look at the bird and the possum, and bluntly knocks them out of her hand. Before Menzie can cast a spell in defense, he picks her up off the ground by her mage robes with one hand, and with the other grabs the air in front of her and slowly pulls away from her. Following the motion, a silvery blue light is removed from her body and slowly enters his. He sets her down, her body no longer moving. "No!" cries Engrossi. He casts Havalra, and the spell merely nudged the stone creature. The creature is now upset. In one leap, he lands in front of Engrossi, picks him up, and with his unnaturally powerful stone wings, they lift into the sky. Connection. You killed her. My love. Why?" "I required a sacrifice to remain." "The bird and the possum were there to be your sacrifice." "They were too weak. I would not have continued for much longer." "My Menzie." Engrossi held his face in his palms. "My beautiful, loving Menzie. Gone." "What do you mean?" Engrossi stood in anger at his apparent density. "You took her away from me. I'll never be with her again." "Menzie is no longer of the flesh, but she remains. Because you cannot see her, you believe she's gone?" The gargoyle made a noise at the strangeness of Engrossi's assumption. "The connection still remains." "I don't know what you're talking about." Purple Gem Planet. "Hello. This figure is a blonde woman with an expression of deep fulfillment. I am Zile. I will answer your questions." "I am in waste no time. Tell me everything that is useful for me to know." "I am a celestial being. I incarnated in your world as Menzie. I did this simply to experience measures of the tangible. Now that you have awoken, Iron, you may find being hard to stomach. Take this, and do not forget. Make it worth it by having everything you go through be to experience measures of the tangible. It matters not that you may befall ill things. What matters is impact, and longevity to that aim." Remember, experience for measures of tangibility, impact, longevity. Thank you, Zile. Celestial Zile puts her hood over her head. Celestial Zile puts her hood over her head. Spellcast. Menzie. There in a beautiful amber-orange gown is Menzie, smiling like they had been already acquainted. They hug, too. Guess I'm still being thought about. Guess I'm still being thought about in this round. Yeah, wow. Big ups to the squiggly line. What? Oh, yeah, well, can I ask you something? Okay. What happened with you and Higroshi? I, I used him. Huh? It was the only way I could think to end my journey in every mage region and get back to my purple gem planet. Liln sits on the ground, digesting the information. I am a celestial being named Zile. Higroshi's father Higro summoned me, and it disturbed some sort of jealousy from unhappy spirits. It even stretched all the way to Holgrim's old kingdom. So I cleaned up the mess from Higro. So I cleaned up the mess from Higro summoning me, and I gotta say, phew, what a journey! How am I gonna explain this to everyone? I'll do it. First, starting with Holgram and Centura Adrin. Then I'm headed to Higrosi and Stability. And little Higgy, Celestial Mother. Higrosi, Higgy, and Mage the First are leaders that rule East Stability. Menzie, once thought to be dead, explains to her husband and son that she was a celestial being and needed some way to return to her gem planet. Higrosi profusely claims he doesn't care. He's just happy she is okay. Higgy is glad to see his mother. Turns out he is half soul surgeon, half celestial being. This makes it even easier to manage his mana. Thanks for listening. See you next time.